Costumes and cast members, custodians and guards, you are now tuned into the Disney Holic Show.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Holic Show. That's Jan Dis.
And that's Mike TV.
Today we take a moment to appreciate the incredible Disney cast members that bring the magic to life in the parks, plus Disney Holic style discussions about a miscellany fan topic roster.
To those who just joined us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train.
Yay!
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. The magic can't happen without cast members, right?
That is very true. They're part of the magic too. It's like they're so good. So good.
So good. So we had thought this would be a good time to do a cast member centric episode of Disney Holic Show, especially with a lot of stuff happening in the job market. I know in Disneyland West and Anaheim, there's protests going on. So we just want to take a moment to appreciate how amazing they are.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me.
Now, did you know why they're called cast members?
Yes, because the whole experience of Disneyland is supposed to be like you're standing, like walking onto a set. So they
Yeah,
would be cast members of said production.
there you go. So this wouldn't be a proper Disney Holics episode with a little bit of a history lesson. And we have some history from when Walt Disney officially decided to name them cast members. So I did a little bit of research.
Ooh, cute.
Very cute. And it was exactly what you said. So he wanted it Disneyland specifically, starting with Disneyland. Walt wanted it to be more than just an amusement park. And we've heard that before. I mean, it was going to be more than just an amusement park. And he aimed to create a story-driven, interactive, and immersive environment where guests could feel like they were stepping into a magical world. And since he had come from a background of film and like with his brother doing TV studios and movie sets and what is the Alice comedies and things like that. So that's just how his brain thought. And then also with live theater, it's like always a production, like the show is always a production. So he thought everyone who is working at Disneyland, whether they're on stage or technicians behind the scenes, they play a crucial role in bringing the story to life.
Very true.
So they're definitely cast members. He emphasized everyone was part of a larger production, so no matter who you are. And he even listed out people. He's like, whether you're a ride operator, janitor, performer, we want you to have a sense of pride in how
Love
important
that.
your role is in the storytelling experience.
My HR heart is buzzing.
Yes, totally, exactly. And then around that time, they also came up with concepts of on stage and backstage. So also using terminology that came from the theater.
Theater.
So they have on stage, which means what? Like if you can see them, visible to guests. And then backstage is where we cannot see them and they're doing other things to make the magic happen or taking a much needed break.
Right.
They need that. They also use the backstage to prepare for their roles. I want to see like a evil queen like psych herself up before she goes out. Like
Yeah,
get
have you
into
like seen those
character.
moments of people go, all right, all right, all right, like pumping themselves and like, all
Yeah.
right, let's go. And then they come out. It's like a totally different character, right?
Yeah, I love it. Um, so yeah, I think I still to this day call other employees cast members by accident of other companies.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what else to call them. Just like when we were talking about Universal Studios one time, I was like, well, are they Imagineers? Are they cast members? I'm confused. I don't know what to call them. Employees?
Yeah,
That
we need to
sounds
learn some
odd.
terminology, vocab
Yeah.
options for other parks.
But yeah, so that's a little history lesson on where the name came from, if anybody else was wondering, because it seems obvious, but I never actually looked back and saw that Walt was all about it too. Pretty cool.
It's very cute. I love that he, even back then, especially too, like was already considering the fact that it takes the army to run it, right? It's not just
Yeah.
like the top performer people who are doing all the work.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right, so I went over to Reddit just to see what cast members talk about. So I discovered two things. There is a cast member subreddit that you can follow, and it's all cast members
Ooh,
talking to each other at both parks, Disney World and Disneyland.
interesting. I kind of want to
Yeah,
like read through that when I'm like can't sleep or something one night.
you should. I
Dive
did
right
last
in.
night in preparation for this episode, and it's pretty PG, I gotta say. So I'm wondering if they know that they have people in there looking that work for Disney HR. Whoops.
Right. Yep.
But then I also learned
Buzzing.
they're buzzing in there. I also learned they have a Discord channel for just Disneyland cast members.
Ooh.
And that's kind of fun, and that's outside of work, so it cannot be, you know, it cannot be what is moderated. It doesn't mean
Right.
there aren't HR people buzzing around in there,
Right. Yeah.
but they're not allowed to moderate it. So that one seemed to have a lot of new hire questions. I thought it was fascinating. There's just like a lot of people, hey, I'm new, or I just started this role, and they're looking for tips. But I thought it was cool. Like that felt for me like I was taking a peek backstage where I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
be looking.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Discord one says explicitly up front, like it's anybody can join. You don't have to be a cast member. So I thought that was
Discord one?
yeah.
Okay. Can
Anybody
you send me a
can
link later?
join.
Thanks.
Yes, I sure can. So one thing I learned was yes, there's this underground of cast member chatter, and then the second thing I learned was, or I looked for, were questions to cast members from us regular type of people,
Right.
non-cast members. And so one of the ones that I found really interesting was a Reddit thread where they asked, "Hey, cast members, what is on those paper slips that you hand to each other?" And I don't think I even thought about it. Like, does this ring a bell? Do you see that happen?
Yeah, I think we talked about this recently, didn't we? I think we
Slips
brought it
of
up at
paper.
some point. And I've never, it looks like little receipt paper, right? And I've never
Yes, that's what
thought
they're saying.
about like, I just assumed it was like a slip you have to hand to somebody else to get because it's so complicated. I don't know. I was like, I always thought about the wastefulness of it. I'm like, do they have to really, is that the best way to do that? Is like a piece of paper still? It just seems like
It's
not
weird.
technology forward for Disney, you know? So I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. I've always seen those though. I'm like, what is that? So I've always been curious. What is it?
I think
You
it's
find
gonna
the
be one of
answer?
those things too, where everyone who's listening to this, including me talking about it, I'm gonna start seeing it now
Yeah, for
when we
sure.
go to the parks. Yeah.
It's like when
So
they trade off, like somebody will come up and like they'll take over a position, like the person checking fast passes or whatever it is. Fast, ancient, but yeah, it's like checking whatever it is, and they'll take their position, and the other person will leave, and then they hand off that piece of paper.
So
I
that
was like,
seems
what
to
is that?
be pretty much the consensus. The top rated pinned response from a cast member was an explanation about a computer system called cast deployment.
Oh,
And when you are ready to go on stage, you get a little printout with the details. It'll tell you who to go to and what to tell them, which is on the paper. So it says, for example,
ooh,
it might say, go to the unload station of Alice in Wonderland, tell Paul it's time for his break, or it's time to go home. Or maybe you have to send him to another attraction and give him his own slip to pass to that person. I think that's kind of fun.
I'm already like
It's
coming up with all
cute.
these ideas. Like, how cool would it be for like a cast member appreciation day for them to like throw a wrench in it and have it be like all of a sudden they have a secret mission on their little
Ooh.
slip, and then they have to go to Mike and tell him to look for Doug under the, I don't know, the
The troll.
rocket rod track or something. Like, send them on like a scavenger hunt or something with those little
Yes,
slips.
scavenger hunt. It's very cute. Um, Somebody also referred to it as rotation. So I think it's the same thing. I think maybe the system's called cast deployment and the actual process is called a rotation, which makes sense.
Oh, it's like a rally race, kind of like if I get it, I'm ready to go on stage and I go take it to you, and then yours might say, take this to Josh, and then you have to go to the next
Oh
station and
yeah,
Josh moves forward.
like
Ah,
pass the baton.
yeah.
Uh, it
Okay.
also says some people, I guess, are like a dead end. Okay, this is interesting. This goes with what you were saying. So there's sometimes an end of that baton passing. It says you might be a greeter going on your greeter shift, and you have to give the slip of paper to Ruben, who then who gets sent back to the computer backstage to sign in and get his new assignment and new printout, which is reminds me of the Galaxy's Edge scavenger hunt game thing. You have to
Yeah.
keep going back to get your new
Yeah.
assignment. That's very cool. I mean, I don't hate this. It keeps things fun. I guess you're not looking at your phone to find out your assignment. You're like waiting for a physical paper.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, so mystery solved. That is what it is. And I love that these cast members gave examples with names. I don't know if those are real people
Ruben.
or they made up, but they seem very specific. Yeah, Ruben.
Ruben's like, hey, don't call me out. Put me on blast, please. Thank you.
It's like, I don't know why they keep sending me back to get a new assignment. All right, here's a good question. Cast members, where is the one place or job in Disney parks everyone hopes they do not get assigned to, and
Ooh.
why? So neither of
Okay.
you, and neither you or I have been cast members, but put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. Okay. I would immediately think about the restroom. Like, I
Oh,
see people like doing circles in the restroom sometime. Like, their job is just to be in there and constantly clean because there's a million people in and out, right?
yeah.
So it makes sense to keep somebody in there. So I would think that would be my number one.
Okay, what I love about your answer is it goes back to appreciating all the cast members. So
Yes.
this Reddit sub thread or whatever, it just said job, it didn't say attraction, but everyone only talked about attractions and lands and stuff. No,
Oh,
nobody said, yeah, the poor custodian who has to be in the bathroom after your nasty kid vomits all over the place.
yeah. Project B. I don't want to deal with it.
Project B. No offense to little kids, I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, I think your answer is really good. Here we're
Ever since
seeing,
they added alcohol to Disneyland, they're not the only ones vomiting now. I'm just
right,
saying. It's not
and
just the
peeing
littles.
probably all over the place,
Yeah.
like missing the toilet if you're drunk.
Oh my God.
So the number one response with 450 upvotes,
It's,
Autopia.
oh my God. Oh yeah.
The
First of
smell.
all, super hot and the smell.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, that seems miserable. And you probably have a bunch of people doing stupid crap in their cars all the time, like smashing into each other.
And
Like,
then if you
please
need
stop hitting the car in front of you.
to help somebody who got crashed, you have to like walk along that track
Yeah.
all the way.
I feel like every single time I've ever been on Autopia, I've always heard the cast members yelling at people to not hit the cars in front of them. Like, I don't think it's ever been a thing where people
Right.
aren't doing it. So,
And
not bumper cars.
it looks like it's very tempting though. Like if there is a like a minor traffic jam happening, you kind of just want to be like, whoops, let me just bounce
Oops.
on.
Oh my goodness. I must have pressed
Especially if
so
it's your
hard on this
friend
pedal.
too. You're like, there's all
Yeah.
of a sudden bumper cars. But yeah, I feel like there should be a cap on how long you could be stationed at that ride. That's dangerous. The fumes
Yeah.
itself.
Medical
But it'll go
issues.
electric soon, so we'll see.
Yeah.
2035 until I see it.
And it's in the sun like the whole time, right? I don't think
Yeah.
they have any shade. Oof. Yeah. No thanks.
And I can't picture their outfit. Now I'm picturing like NASCAR. Are they like pants and long sleeve? I actually don't know. Can't think.
Every time I picture them immediately, I picture long pants and jackets, but
Yeah, like motocross jackets
can't
or
be
something.
it. That sounds miserable. So
Awful. Okay, I was surprised with the number two attraction that cast members do not want to get assigned to, with 275 upvotes, Jungle Cruise.
Indiana Jones. Oh, Jungle Cruise. What?
Yeah, it's the same land though. It says here, everyone wants to work on Jungle Cruise, but absolutely hates it after 2 weeks. So that's interesting. So people want to, and then they regret it. And apparently there's a phrase, a cast member funny phrase that's friends don't let friends get jungle trained.
Oh my
So like you have to
gosh.
warn them about it because they're so excited, but you gotta say
Do
let
you
them
think they
know.
just get over it? Like it was like okay, I have my rite of passage now, I want to move on. It's like people don't well, I guess if you're actually a funny person and you have to tell the same joke over and over again, it might suck to an like, unreceptive audience, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It seems like that's the consensus. So a lot of the replies to this one were like, um, why do they hate it? Is it the repetitive script? Is it having guests who don't have a response to your jokes? And then someone goes, well, sometimes you get a sympathetic boat who laughs on purpose.
that's me. I'm always like, ha, like trying to let people know it's okay to laugh. Just
It is
do
because
it.
like it can be contagious if you start laughing.
Yeah.
And then it'll make the skipper like more enthusiastic too.
Yeah. You can like vibe off of them.
Yeah. And then there's people here saying no, it was the management. So now I don't know if they're talking about Disneyland
Oh.
or Disney World, but they said management at Jungle Cruise is pretty awful for a while. Um, this is all inside
Weird.
scoop. I love it. So
Behind the curtain.
one more honorable mention for place that you don't want to get stationed at, which kind of goes back to your original answer about like the people that are not on rides.
Okay.
Parking, sitting there
Oh.
holding the thing and making people go to the spot in the hot sun.
Right. Yeah.
At least
On the
Disneyland
roof.
has a garage. So like a lot of Disney World parks don't have anything.
Oh yeah, it's just flat
Yeah.
outside lot.
Just-
Oof.
It's so boring. Like there's not even music or smells
Yeah.
or anything. Yikes. Parking. All right. So let's
Yeah.
give it up for those parking and custodian cast members. Thank you
Yeah,
very
snap
much.
snaps. What was your least favorite job?
I started reading it so quickly, and as soon as I saw Autopia, I got it. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
absolutely
That's
not.
absolutely
Yeah.
it.
You would have like migraines all day.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And I hate that sound already. Like you and I hate it when it goes by our window, like brrrr, and it'd just be all day.
By our
doing-
window, what do you mean?
You know, like because when we're trying to record and we have these obnoxious
Oh,
cars,
yeah.
real cars, IRL cars, and so I don't need
Oh,
the
sorry.
pretend ones bothering me on my day
He's like,
shift.
you know, when I stay at Cinderella's castle, I'm like, geez, excuse me.
Out my window, Autopia. No, when I'm in the House of the Future by
There you
Monsanto.
go. Heck yeah.
Okay, so let's flip it. Somebody was generous enough to start a brand new thread that said, okay, where do you want to be assigned as a cast member?
Oh, okay. So now people can pick their favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to think of ours because it's fun. Gibson Girl ice cream
Oh, really? Food
or the
and bev.
confectionery,
Wow, both
Candy
food and
Palace.
bev. Interesting. Okay. Why?
but only those two food and bevs. I don't want to be anywhere else. with
Nowhere
food.
else.
I just want to do the cute stuff, the candy and the ice cream. It's cute.
And it's indoors,
Quintessential
air
Disney.
conditioned. Now, would you want to
the
be
like making the candy. They're in that freezing cold room that supposedly is really actually hot. I don't know what's going
Oh.
on with that. That's a mixed review. Also, maybe we have to look that one up.
We need to ask. We need to ask the Discord about that. Okay, so you wouldn't want to necessarily be interacting with guests, like you'd be the lady making the stuff behind the glass.
That's kind of like my retirement plan. But let me take that back right now because I actually want to take this opportunity to see something cool backstage. So I think I might have to be lame and just say Haunted Mansion, which I'm sure everybody's expecting.
Just a
But,
cast
man,
member, or what would
Viking,
you do
like,
there?
I want to like close out the Haunted Mansion and be able to walk it for like people's lost stuff at the end of the night
Ooh.
while the ride is stopped or whatever it does at nighttime. Get to see what the lights on. Like I've never gotten to see Haunted Mansion like I want to see it. So I want to be able to get in there. and
You'd
do
probably
something.
like being like maintenance assigned to Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Yep.
You get to see all the things and fix all the things and have to like
Except
MacGyver
I have no
stuff.
idea how to do any of those things.
Well, I heard they have good training at Disneyland. They got a college
Entry level.
program.
Like, what's yours?
I would have to say, because this is Disney World specific, I think I would like to drive the boats, like the boats that take you from the resort to the parks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it seems fun. Like every time I watch them, I don't know, I love it every time. I love any like moving vehicle to get you from point A to point B at a theme park. And then on top of it, something
Except for
about it,
buses.
except for buses. Yeah. I don't mind them. It's the weight and the unpredictability of it.
Mhm. True.
Um, but the boats just they add this extra layer of like luxurious to it.
It
It's
does.
just so chic. Like,
There was a
I'm gonna
point in
take a
time
boat.
where I took the ferry to work, and it made me feel like a boss, bitch, every single
Right?
morning.
Nice, like
I
seeing
was
the
like,
water
yeah, there's like the Golden Gate
breeze. Yeah.
Bridge. It's like crisp, and I've got like they have like a little snack bar. I was like, this is amazing.
Totally. So I would like to do that, and I would probably, I'd want to be one of the fun ones who are like interacting or maybe singing. Remember, we got
Oh
one lady who
yeah.
sang. She sang like Ariel music and stuff, Little Mermaid. So cool.
Very
Yeah, so
cute.
I would drive one of the boats, and I've always wanted to learn how to like do that, and it seems like very low key. It's not the ocean. There's no waves. You just have to fling
Right.
the rope around the pier, I think, once, and
And
that's it.
dodge alligators.
And dodge it. Um, okay, so the number one destination for people to get assigned to, and this sounds like I think a Disney World question. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean Disney World response, but it's called a runner. It's called a
Okay.
runner. And when you're a runner and you're assigned a runner, it's usually for the resorts. And all you do all day is more of those missions like we liked with earlier we were
Yeah.
talking about. So you get missions all day and you'll go back and it'll be a different one. So it might be go get this birthday cake and bring it to someone's room with balloons. Do a surprise. It might be, oh, go find this find this special item only at this park for a VIP guest. It might be drive this group to a backstage area of the park and let them enter, blah, blah, blah. So people love that one, I guess, because it's different every day, like a wild card.
That sounds fun. I would want it to come with a golf cart though.
Oh, I'm assuming in my mind you have access to everything you want if you're this runner. Like perhaps you have a van, perhaps you have a golf cart. Yeah, I don't think it's physically running. I
That would
hope
be
not.
fun. Yeah, that'd be fun.
It seems like, yeah, interesting, especially
It's
if
like
you
a
don't
mini
like
scavenger hunt
repetitive.
constantly.
Constantly,
Yeah.
like what was that game? Crazy Cab or something. You have to pick up a
I
new
never played that
fare,
one.
and then it was really fun. There was a Simpsons version too, and so it was before Uber and all this stuff existed. You'd get a little light; it would tell you on the game where you had to go, and then you never know who it was and what they want, and then they would talk to you on the way to their destination. But yeah, this seems
Cute. I want to play.
interesting. Yeah. Second on the list. Oh, by the way, the other one had 400 upvotes for runners.
Oh wow.
And then this next one has about 120, and it's merchandise at Galaxy's Edge. So it sounds like that means if you're assigned to that, you could be anywhere from the Black Spire Outposts Marketplace or any of the gift shops or Savi's or all those type of things. Yeah.
Okay. It seems like super specific.
It is. It is.
I wonder like
And
why is merch there so much more fun than anywhere else?
I thought it was
Just
because
the
it was
theming?
new, but
True, it could be
the
popularity, right?
consensus here from cast members is because you get to pick your own costumes, and they love that.
Okay, first of all, how genius was that for whoever created that for the cast members? Because obviously, like that is a big win for them to
Yeah.
just like, and it's so simple.
And the fact that it's a hot button on this Reddit thread shows that whoever came up with it at Disney is very smart and made the employees happy or the cast members.
Yeah.
Happy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. And then other people said they love that you get the cool name tag, so it's different than everyone else's in the parks.
Yep.
In Arabesh, right? It's in Arabesh.
How fun.
And
I'm
then
still like in love with all of the Oga's Cantina bartenders. They're like, there's that one lady. If you guys are Disneyland people and you go often to Oga's, you probably have seen her. She has crazy hair. Like it's so cool. Were you with me, Mike, when she was there?
it doesn't sound familiar.
It's like she's redhead and her hair, she always does it like
She's
crazy, like you would
redhead?
see it. She's redhead. She's a redhead, and it's like I don't know, she does it like you would imagine someone on Batu doing their hair, which is
Oh,
like
that's cool.
crazy. Oh, it's just so cool. And like they're all into it, and they like most of them like will get into the like original what we thought Batu was gonna feel like, where they like speak a different way, not like a
And their
different language, but like they
character.
have different terminology and they play along with it. And
They were really good
very
those
cute.
first few months. And
Yeah,
then
yeah. I feel
something
like the
happened.
bartenders held on to it, maybe because they're still there. You know what I
I'll
mean?
tell
Like
you why.
sometimes.
I'll tell you why they
Oh,
still hang on to it. Okay, number 3 place or thing to be assigned to Oga's Cantina. So Galaxy's Edge is on here twice in a way, right? One was saying the merch, and then this other group is saying the cantina. 138 upvotes for that. And they said, we like to be in character. And I guess it's like air conditioned. It's like a nice environment. It's
yeah,
not like you
I
have
would
to
love to be
be
in there all day.
like in character, like on a ride dealing with how many people in your party? How many people in your party? In this case, it's just like you're entertaining people and a small amount of people. You get to stay with people for like 30, 40 minutes. And so this person also said the reason why it's popular is because you get the biggest tips there. It says everything is so
Oh.
expensive that the tips are typically large. People take home 800 or more a night working there in tips. And so then you add that with like being entertaining,
Is
you'll
that
get a
just what
bigger
I
tip.
need to go do for my new job? What
Put your
the heck?
hair up in some purple redhead
I will
buns.
do crazy hair. Let's go.
Imagine getting to make your own character that lives in Batu and works at this bar.
I will play that up. I will get them all their drinks.
Yeah,
Let's
get
go.
a 50% tip. Get it
The
up.
heck, $800.
Yeah.
Wow. Real quick on this too. I was just talking with Nicole about this actually, because we're talking about like the weather is like we're having a heat wave again. So like we're talking about how hot it is. And I was like, and most people, if you ask, maybe not a cast member, but like people that don't know what it's like to work at Disneyland, it's like the first thing they think of when you say, what job would you want to design? What's your dream Disney job? They always say VIP tour guide, right? And I was like,
Oh,
I don't want that anymore because I can't imagine being in that sun all day.
all
And so
day.
being in somewhere like Oga's is dreamy, right?
Yeah.
And
And
it's
then
like dimly
VIP,
lit and there's music. Like
you can't
good.
really get a break either because you're with that group the whole day. You have to be on.
Yeah, and I was thinking like you
all
have to
day.
be on the whole time
Yeah.
and you have to deal with their entitled, not that everybody is, but I'm sure they have a lot of entitled people that ask for crazy stupid things, and it's probably 100 degrees outside, especially for Disney World, and you
Yeah.
have to deal like I couldn't. I
Yeah, see,
would,
these cast
but I wouldn't
members,
in my head I wouldn't.
they know what's up. They agree with you because that's not even on this Reddit thread at all.
That's crazy.
To be a tour guide, yeah, it's not on here. One other reason why Oga's Cantina was a popular, it's also waitlisted. Like someone's like, I'm trying so hard to work at Oga's. The CMs there are so cool, and I want to join them so bad. Aw. They're like the cool
Aww.
kids that get to work at
Yeah,
Oga's.
how cute.
But another reason was the turnover. It's guaranteed turnover because they're pretty strict with the 45-minute or whatever that rule is.
Yeah.
So you're always getting a new party. Whereas there's people here saying that probably the next best place to get good tips is the Hoop-de-Doo because it's already a set price and it's just 20% of that. So you kind of know what you're going to get. But there's less turnover because people stick around to watch the show and all that other stuff like that. So
right.
some of the restaurants where they're not strict, I guess you make less tips, which just makes sense, HR operations.
Right. And speaking of tips, I have a tip for people to go to Oga's late night and see if you can get in because it's the best experience. There's like hardly anybody there. I mean, on not crazy crowded days, like a normal average day. The last few times I've gone at the end of the evening, it's like dead in there and it's so fun. Everyone acts different. It feels like a real bar. It's like so cool. You and I had that experience once.
Yeah.
Joy and I had it recently too. Shout out to Joy. And it's just like this whole other feeling. And we're just like, oh, this is like super nice. Like it's super cool. And then that's when the bartenders like really come over and just like talk to you and hang out with you. And like it's this
They'll
cool
let you
experience.
taste stuff like the foam.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And it just feels less claustrophobic too when you can walk around like a real bar, like you said.
Yeah, you can just like cruise around. It's like fine. No one's like hustling you for your 45-minute thing. They're just like, it's fine. We're good. We got room. No
Got
stress.
room. All right. Hey,
Very
cast
nice.
members. Does it bother you when adults come for meet and greets?
Ooh, this is a good one because I always think about it when I go up to a meet and greet.
And they put a disclaimer on their question to cast members. It says, disclaimer, I mean polite, respectful adults who wait in line
Right.
and follow the rules. So they're talking
Right,
about
yeah.
like us, like the normal adults who go to meet and greet without kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we obviously already know that the other ones we don't even need to talk about.
Yeah.
They annoy all of us.
I don't know. This one, if I were in their shoes, I think I would just be so on all day that I don't care how old the person is. I'll just go along with it. Right? Just you're acting.
I think I would be super annoyed with the people who are there to get it for content.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
hate
then
when they try to
everyone
trip you
else,
up too. I don't like that.
yeah, anyone else I'd be super excited about. I'm like, oh, cool, you're one of us. You know what I mean? I'd feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
one
Yeah, do
of
it
us.
without the phone. Try
Right,
it. Try it. It'll be your own special moment and you could still talk about it after. You could tell the story.
right.
You could even embellish if you want because it's not on video. So the main, I would say the main consensus here is that it's fine and they don't mind it at all. They said that character breakfasts are usually the best place to interact with adults because they're just like sitting down and they're not waiting. You go to them. And so they say they usually have the best interactions. It says in general, even not just kids. I mean, not just adults, but with kids. The characters who play meet and greets like to do the breakfasts where they go around. I kind of like that too because you have your set thing
Right.
and you're
right.
inside again in the air condition. That's the
Yeah,
key
yeah.
to all of these things, air conditioning. And then it says like as long as you're taking a picture or chatting chatting slightly and then getting on with your day, that's fine. Yeah, so like
Okay.
don't overdo it, don't linger. Remember there's a line behind you.
Right.
And then a lot of people who say that they played Mickey or Minnie, it said it's their favorite thing to get a hug from a grown-up.
Aw. Okay, but do you
That
know
makes you want to
you've seen
cry.
the hug rule at Disney that everyone's talking about online right now, right?
Where they can't let go until you let go.
Yeah.
I thought that's
And
only
now
for kids. Is that true?
I don't know, but I've seen, and I didn't even watch the video because I'm just like annoyed when I see it. But supposedly I've seen like a bunch of videos of adults saying like testing out the hug rule.
Ugh,
And
yeah,
I'm
see,
like,
that's dumb.
don't do that. Like there's no need for us as adults to test out the hug rule. Like there's
Yeah,
just not.
like just hug them and then move on with it. I
Like
hope it's.
watch a child and see how long they hug them, and then now you've got your answer. Don't be creep. I guess it could
I
also sound like they're being a creep though. So
I hope they do enforce it for only kids. It should, yeah,
yeah,
it shouldn't be for like get off me if you're hugging me too long and you're an adult. Number
right.
one. Number two, that seems like just as obnoxious as those people who used to throw trash on the ground to see if the 30-second rule was real. Do you
Oh
remember
my
that?
god.
Which it's definitely not real anymore. Cut back on budget years
Yeah.
ago. But yeah, it's just obnoxious to like test out somebody's work standard. Like it's their job, you know.
Right. And they're also still human. So like does that person in the Ariel costume want to be hugged by you for 5 minutes? Like
Oh
how
yeah,
do we
wait. Oh,
do
you're
that?
totally right. There is a huge difference between a face character and a costume character.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're like a 50-year-old man and you're hugging like a 22-year-old Ariel for too long, that's a little bit weird.
Right.
No, thank you.
Just
So
don't do
yeah,
it.
I guess that's why they put that disclaimer. We're only talking about polite, respectful adults, it says.
Right. And
Um,
yes, I'm not saying, to be clear, not saying don't hug them. Give them a hug.
yeah,
They like doing it, it's fine. But don't hug them for an awkward amount of time.
yeah. And then somebody here who was the cast member that walked around with Donald Duck said she saw an 80-something-year-old grandma. Why am I emotional today? It says
Aw.
80-something-year-old grandma had her picture with Donald Duck and she was so happy. She featured it in her living room. So I guess she came back. Oh yeah, she said she came back for her 100th birthday.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
how cute.
Oh, that's sweet. So she probably loved Donald Duck as a kid all the way till
That's gonna be us.
100. Yeah,
You,
that's
me,
gonna
and
be.
everyone listening.
There we go. giving gifts to cast members. Have you heard of that?
Oh, I love this.
It seems weird just saying it out loud. And I think the consensus of the subreddit actually was don't.
Okay.
People are like, honestly, the best thing you could do is just be patient and kind, say hello, how are you doing? Forgive them if they make a mistake, use the app to give recognition. Which all those are fine, but that's boring for the podcast. So there are some good answers that I found here. It seems like the number one physical object are bracelets. Give a bracelet.
Especially now the Swifties
The
with their
Swifties, when I collect that,
with
right?
their
That
raver
arm.
bracelets, which is also
Yeah.
so weird to me still.
Candy bracelet suckers.
Candy bracelets, candy raver.
So they're like, bracelets are a great idea. And this was a cast member that responded. They said, we can't wear them on stage, but I promise you we treasure them so much. It says it makes our day. And when we can wear them, if you're working in an area where you can, they definitely wear them. So it says, yeah, do bracelets.
That's cute.
I think
Shout
we need
out to
give
Jay
them...
Lass,
Oh, what does
who was
Jay
also a
Lass do?
candy raver.
Oh, there you go. We need to give cast members our Disneyholics Candy Raver bracelets. Yeah.
That's right.
They're gonna be like,
Where
oh, this
is
is
my
off-brand.
stuff? I have all my bead stuff somewhere. I should go find it. Start making some. Right after I said like, don't do it, and I'm like, here.
That's the one that just kept coming up. Bracelets, friendship bracelets, and it was either bracelet or no, that's weird. Don't do it. Some other person just
Okay.
said, I think that's uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable. So that's a cast member.
Okay.
Like,
Bracelets for some reason feel like, I don't know, maybe because I'm so used to those kind of bracelets, so it doesn't bother me. But they feel kind of like interchangeable. Like you don't have, they're not like I've seen people give gifts that are like a thing, and it's like, what is that cast member? Because again, I think like, okay, this is Ariel, but that's actually this 22-year-old girl that lives in Irvine or something. And like, does she want this thing now? And now she has all these weird gifts that people have given her all day. And like, what do you do with it? You know, and then you feel bad throwing it away, you feel bad keeping it. I don't know. It's very interesting to think about. But a bracelet's kind of like you could just put on your wrist or get rid of it. No, it's like,
yeah. Okay. It's almost like a pin. Like bracelets like an adjacent to it.
Right.
Like it seems tradable almost.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, or give it away.
There was a semi-cranky cast member who was like, here's the thing. I don't think anyone can so confidently speak for other cast members regarding trinkets. Some people enjoy the plastic trinkets, but I'm environmentally conscious and I would not want something of that to collect. I would be annoyed at any cheap plastic crap. Maybe, if anything, I'd prefer a sticker. Okay. Very interesting.
Wait, what?
And they got
what are you gonna
downvoted.
do with a sticker?
They have
like, I guess they'd
negative
have
votes
to
on
give it
Reddit.
to you with a back on. Yes. A sticker. You know what's funny is a lot of these influencers give out stickers. So I wonder if that's something already that we just don't know about.
That they're giving out. Yeah, stickers seem like they can borderline be promotional.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd want them, but I do like stickers. Like I put on my laptop and stuff.
Right.
And then there's a couple other really interesting things that I found on the Disney cast member Reddit, the World of Underground cast members on Reddit. It was an entire Ask Me Anything, a whole AMA thread, and it's very heartwarming. So it was, I am a Vietnam veteran diagnosed with PTSD, and a former cast member at Walt Disney World. I've also been to Disney World as a guest 50 times. Disney helps me cope with my war memories. Ask me anything. Aww.
Okay, this is cool. I don't think I've ever seen an AMA from like quote unquote a random person, like just a random public person that has a specific thing that they can share like this. It's usually like someone famous, like, oh, AMA now with the creator of blah, 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 you know, and then everyone wants to talk about them creating this thing. But this person now is like their experience and like they're more personable almost. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's really cool. It caught my attention. I was like, okay, we have to talk about it. And most of the questions are normal questions you'd ask a Disney fan. It's just interesting because you kind of know him a little bit more, right? Because you heard his backstory.
Right.
Yeah.
Got this
Um,
background now. Yep.
So one of the questions were Space Mountain or Splash Mountain? And he says, oh, difficult question. Splash Mountain, because Splash Mountain is my happy place. Wait, that's part of the song and the land and everything, right? Is it happy place? Happy place.
How do you do? Do 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 do. Fine. How are you?
Down to the
Laughing
sky.
place.
Oh,
There it is.
That's what it is. Yeah, there
I was
it is.
waiting for it to come in my brain.
Laughing place. Anyone who claims to be a Disney fan will recognize that Splash Mountain is a happy place. That's cute.
Oh,
And then
when
somebody
did you write this?
This was 9 years ago.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And it seemed very innocent, just the way he answered it too. And it didn't seem like a gotcha question either, because it was 9 years ago.
Yes.
Someone said, okay, any good memories of Vietnam? All right, they went straight for it.
Oh,
From, I guess you're asking somebody who seems to find the joy in life even after they went
Right.
through an experience, right? So he says, I remember lying flat on my back in the hospital when Bob Hope came to visit everyone in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Remember,
Wow.
I guess they still do that, but back then it seems so, it just seemed like iconic and patriotic to do
Right.
that, especially when you
They would
watch
do
those
those,
old
like,
videos.
shows for everybody.
Yeah,
and they'd have, like, a
USO.
little... Yeah.
Yeah. And then Anne Margaret was with Bob Hope. Who's Anne Margaret?
Oh, I don't have any idea.
Oh my God!
Sorry.
Somebody is out there saying we are too young, and I don't mind
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I hope so.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
We're in our 40s. We don't know who Anne Margaret is. Okay. But anyway, she sat on his bed and said, "You okay, soldier?" And now I'm making up a voice. I don't even know. And he said he asked her, "Am I dreaming?" Imagine waking up and like a huge actress is there.
Yeah, seriously.
Popular actress. No, soldier, she said. And then they took an Instamatic Polaroid picture with the patients and Bob and Anne.
Oh my gosh.
That's
amazing.
really sweet. That's really sweet. And that is something that, you know, like a Disneyholic type person would find exciting. Like they got to see like a celebrity that they
Yeah.
adored. Yeah, it's nice.
Totally. I'm looking her up right now, and it says she is a Swedish American actress, singer, and dancer with a career spanning 7 decades.
Ooh.
Let me see what she. Here we go. Her many screen roles include Pocket Full of Miracles, Viva Las Vegas, Bye Bye
Oh.
Birdie,
Oh. Oh,
The
Bye Bye
Return
Birdie.
of the Soldier, 52 Pickup, Newsies,
Oh.
Grumpy Old Men,
Oh.
Taxi.
Okay.
So yeah, she's in quite a few things we've seen before. That's pretty cool.
And Margaret. What a nice lady that she went and talked to those soldiers.
That is very cute.
That
would be so wild to wake up to.
Right? In the middle of like, yeah, you're in like distress and all that. I guess that's why they do it.
Yeah.
These days we see like Tom Holland as Spider-Man will go to like the children's hospitals and stuff.
You know what, Mike? I just figured out my dream job. I want to host that. I want to like organize
Be the
those
one.
moments.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so cool.
I just got chills.
You get to give back, do Disney stuff, make people have a magical day.
Morale, like,
You might be the last person they see in their life.
stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dark.
gosh.
Okay, so another
I could
question.
hire the 501st to come through a lot of hospitals
Get
too.
those stormtroopers. Okay, someone asked him, "What's your favorite thing about Disney?" He said, "My favorite thing about Disney is everyone is treated equal, everyone is given respect, and everyone is treated like a guest, whether you work there or not." That's interesting.
Oh, okay.
I don't hear that often,
Yeah,
to be honest.
maybe that's changed. How long
Maybe
ago did you
that's
work at
changed.
Disney?
Yeah, he posted this 9 years. I don't know when he actually worked there. But that's interesting. Hope if it's not like that anymore, hopefully they can get back to it. That would be nice.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably, because it also has a lot to do with management, if those kind of feelings, So like if you have a really good manager, it makes you feel like you belong there, then it's good. But if you have a jerk manager on the Jungle Cruise, then you might hate it.
It'll make your experience rotten.
Yeah.
And I know Disney for a while has had veteran programs and hiring programs. So perhaps he was also part of
Oh, right.
a group. Well, not that they should treat anybody nicer than others, like he said, the guy said himself, but
Right.
I'm just curious what that's like. So someone asked, hey, what did you do in Vietnam? What was the branch of service? So he was in the 11th Infantry Brigade, US Army, trained to kill, and that's what I did. Wow. Wow. Night and day coming back from that PTSD and going, okay, I need to go
Wow.
work at Disney to get this all washed out of my mouth.
Okay, I really appreciate this guy because he is very honest and transparent. I don't know that I would feel comfortable saying that, which
Mhm.
kind of sucks because this is the whole point of an AMA,
Yeah.
right? Is to be open and transparent. And like, I feel like we need more of that and more of types of things like this because you learn a lot from other people's experience when they're being real
So real. Yeah.
instead of
Exactly.
the sugar coated everything. So, like, yes, this is what I did and this is what happened, like,
And you can still have a normal conversation about the other things right next
and
to
he's
it.
gonna go right back to Space
Yeah.
Mountain or Splash Mountain.
Yeah. In your time working at Disney or visiting Disney, have you encountered other veterans who use Disney World as their medication for PTSD? Seems like there should be support groups centered around Disney World for PTSD.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
maybe that's my
Um,
other dream job.
There you go. You could do all of it. You just work for, was it volunteers? Oh, but then you don't get paid.
Yeah.
There's got to be
Retreat.
a paid staff member that works for the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And he says, Walt Disney World hires, looks out for their veterans. There we go. I can't answer if they use it as medication like I do, but I've met a lot of them down there in Orlando who are so happy and love it there just as much as I do.
Aw.
Yeah. And then there was an actual other veteran who responded to that, which was this man. He said he had two violent deployments 11 months apart in Afghanistan. And then he came home and his wife took him to Disney World. And he said it just like was medicine for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I swear it is. Like, I would plan a trip because what was real traumatic for me was my father's surgeries because it was like there was this period of time where he'd be in the hospital and then I would have to like be like full force taking care of him for a couple weeks. I would go to Disneyland right after he got his surgery done. Like, I'd wait to know the surgery went well. Then the week he had in the rehab thing, I would go to Disneyland, wash it off, come back, take care of him, and then go back to Disneyland and wash it off again. And I swear it works. It's like literally therapy.
It really is.
Crazy.
It surrounds you in every way, all the senses.
Yeah,
It activates
it
all your
really does
senses.
work. And it's
Yeah.
not just running away. It just like it does something. It like those endorphins are increased and I feel better.
All right, so I have one more related to cast members that I'm actually going to save and keep everybody on edge for another
Uh-oh.
episode because there's so many good responses within the subreddit thread.
Ooh.
It was, hey, are there any former Disney cast members who have creepy or scary stories from working there?
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. So maybe
We
we'll
can
save
it
that
Halloween.
for spooky season. Yeah, exactly. But I didn't want to leave without just some regular miscellany Disney topics that I came across
Okay.
on Reddit recently that I thought we would have some fun and our listeners would have some fun trying to figure out how you would respond. So, starting with this first Disneyholic discussion question, what is one extinct attraction that you never got to experience that you wish you could have?
Oh. Let's see. I feel why is it first thing that's popping to my head, but I think it might be it. Oh, I want to say House of the Future. Didn't we just talk about that earlier
By
too?
Monsanto. Yeah, that's the house I was living in looking out the window.
Oh yeah, that's right, with the Autopia's cars flying by. Something about it has always just like it's so like mid-century
Future.
modern, like of its time, so
Yeah.
fitting for Tomorrowland Disney.
Was it a
It seems
walkthrough?
so weird. Yeah, as a walkthrough. It
Interesting.
was almost like Innoventions was, but like
Okay, you would see things that might be real products of the future inside.
right, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And it just seems so bizarre, and especially that it was like right there on this. I wish I could have just seen it even. I don't even like walking through it is like also cool, but like for some reason it was just like this giant big plastic house right on the side of the hub. You know, it was just like sticking out of there. It's just so weird. And I like can't get it through my head a little bit. So I've always wanted to check that one out. How about you?
Mine, Adventures Through Inner Space, because it
Okay.
gets referenced a lot to the point where like I know like I can recognize the music from it and the narration, and I haven't even been on it. And it also seems so weird and of that time when things were like kind of like people were on drugs in the creative entertainment industry. Everyone
Yeah.
was like tripping out. And I love the story behind it where people thought they were actually getting shrunk. So that reminds me of like Willy Wonka or something. There's just something about it. I wish I got to ride that. You rode that?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Wow. So it was around till what, the 80s, I guess?
85, I think, is when it closed down.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I haven't been on that one. And then the people on Reddit threw out some really good ones, actually, too. Mine
Okay,
Train Through
good.
Nature's Wonderland at
Oh, that's a good
Disneyland with
one.
the Rainbow Caverns, right? Somebody had said this was on here a
Caverns.
lot, was the alien
Oh, alien and extraterrestrial.
extraterrestrial encounter. I didn't write that
Alien
either,
encounter.
but I feel like most people I talk to or when I read about it say that it wasn't even good anyways. So it's
Oh,
more
I
like,
freaking loved
really?
it.
I didn't
Loved it.
like the follow-up mainly because of the the vehicle, the seats were
The
so
armrests or
claustrophobic.
whatever.
Yeah, that I don't know if I would
Yeah.
have liked it even if they had the old scary story. I'm not sure.
Ah, okay. Yeah, like
But
without that, it makes it not that cool if you don't have that on. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
definitely
right.
part of it. Yeah.
And it seems like what makes it popular on this list is most people are just like shocked when they hear it existed and
Yeah,
they're
they're
like,
like, "What do you
what?
mean?" Yeah.
And then you
Every
say you
time I
can't
tell people
ride it.
that, they don't believe it. Like,
Yeah.
"What?"
And you lost your chance. You can't. It's just too bad. And then one response here that got like 50 votes is going to age us. Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Oh,
Like,
man.
how could you? What do you mean you didn't ride that? Oh, okay, you were born like late 90s or something. So weird. So weird. Okay, another fun hot topic. Do you check Disneyland or Disney World wait times on the app from home? Like you're not even on a vacation or a trip. Do you just check it
Yes, pretty
throughout the
often.
day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not alone. There are tons of people who do this for all kinds of reasons.
I think
Why do you do
most
it?
of us Disneyholics probably do. It's just fun. Like, you kinda like, "Oh," it's like, "I wonder what Mike's doing right now." Like, let's call him. You can't just call Disneyland. It's like, "I wonder what Disneyland's doing." You just look at the app, see like, "Oh, this is probably what it feels like right now," right?
Yeah.
"How long is Peter Pan? Oh my god, it's a packed day."
Yeah, it seems like the consensus is people like to look at it and then be mesmerized by either no wait or how long it is.
Yep.
And I
Either
guess you
has to
could
be
do
one
that,
or the
right?
other.
Sitting on the toilet and you're just like looking around.
And you
Oh, I
see it's
wonder
like
what
20 minutes for Peter Pan. You're like, "Oh my god, I knew I should have gone
should
today."
have been there. Should have been there. Or you're like, ooh, temporarily closed. I wonder why. What happened?
Yep.
Da, da,
Like,
da,
"Oh,
da,
I'd
da.
be everyone's gonna be freaking out right now. There's like 3 rides closed."
Not even there commenting on Disney. I've done it too. I totally get it. Is Canada possibly the most beautiful Epcot World Showcase Pavilion?
Um, Most beautiful? I mean, it's pretty. They have all those big mountains with the waterfalls and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like every time I do step in there, I forget. And I'm like, oh, wow, so pretty. And it doesn't even feel like you're at Epcot anymore. Like they really do a good job, like nestling the waterfall and all that stuff.
Except for when we snuck Nicole into a vertigo extravaganza without realizing we were doing it.
We're like,
We
hey,
ended
yeah,
up in circle
it's
vision.
just a
Poor thing.
TV screen. And then she's like,
Like, yeah, it's like you just stand there in a room. Poor thing.
poor thing. Um, yeah, I would say Canada's up there. Definitely underrated beauty for sure.
Yeah.
And then, okay, another thing I came across was this Tower of Terror 13 times challenge. Have you heard of this? It's happening right now.
No,
We're not part of it. We're missing out. We need to do it, maybe.
no, I do not know about it, but I will definitely do it with you.
Would you? It does seem like a lot.
Actually,
Okay,
I don't
so
even know what it is yet. Hold up. What is
the
it?
challenge is to try to ride Tower of Terror, which is only in Hollywood studios here in the US now, 13 times in one day.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get your photos and you create a collage out of your 13 photos.
Okay.
That's kind of fun. Something to do,
We'd have
something
to like
different.
plan our photos ahead of time, right?
I guess, yeah. There's going to be a couple where we're just like over it.
You're like, okay, ha ha.
Oh, yeah, because then you have to go through the pre-show 13 times and all that. But I mean, if that was our
And
mission
it's
for
a
a trip, it'd be fun.
oh, it's not always the same in Disney World though. So there's a
Oh, the
little
drop
unpredictability
sequences.
to it. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it fun. That adds to it.
I was thinking like, Guardians now is like, oh, what song are we gonna get? But like
Yeah,
in that one, it's not like that. But you do get different drops, which is even cooler. So
even cooler. And 13 times, we might even have an increase of odds of getting stopped with the lights on at the top in the little attic scene thing.
ooh,
Ooh, that'd be
heck is
cool.
scary.
All right, another hot topic was about I can't believe I don't know how to pronounce this. The Hearthstone Lounge? Hearthstone?
I've heard it as both hearth and hearth, and I can't, when there's like a 50-50 and no longer
Yeah,
can remember which is
yeah,
correct
I
and which
can.
I used to say.
I'm also pretty sure we
I don't
asked
know.
them when we had our happy hour there, and I already forgot. I'm pretty sure like that seems like something we would have done. We're waiting, and we're like, how do we?
Right.
But
Is it
Hearthstone
hearth or
Lounge.
hearth?
So this is that really nice bar and lounge inside of California. Um, what is it called? Grand
Grand
Californian
Californian. Hmm.
at Disneyland, California. And it was brought up because someone was like, "Hey, people are sleeping on this. Like, this is a great place to go relax." But also, we don't like it when people give away secrets. Uh,
Yes. Just tell me, not everybody.
But I would guess I would kind of agree that I forget to go there, but I also don't feel like I need to. What do you think?
Same. Same. I've been there only a couple times ever, like maybe 4 times total. And I haven't been very impressed with their food.
Right.
So I'm like, like I don't need to go all the way to the California hotel for that.
Just for
It's
that.
kind of like,
The first thing I did was looked up the menu when I saw that
yeah,
post because I was like, wait, I don't remember it being that great. I mean, I'm pretty sure I had fine drinks there. So I'm looking at the
right.
menu and it sounds good. So I don't know what's going on. I don't remember any of these. Okay, so they have French onion soup. They have a burger, like a house burger with Wagyu patty, cheddar cheese, avocado, bacon on a focaccia bun with steak fries. They got a Caesar salad. They have citrus habanero chicken wings.
Okay.
They have a cheese and meat charcuterie board. Now I can't say the wrong way.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie board. They got a charcuterie board. They got a chorizo poutine, so fries with gravy and some chorizo on top. And then if you want like a meal, they have like full-on food. Short rib lasagna. They have Black
Whoa.
Angus prime rib, slow roasted. They have a Branzino sea bass and a New York steak frites, so fries and steak.
I'm pretty sure I went to a different Hearthstone Lounge.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not even done yet. They have a pizza menu from a fresh brick oven pizza. So you get margarita pizza. They even have an impossible pizza with vegan stuff. So there you go.
Okay,
Pepperoni
that
and
was
another kind of
what
pizza.
I was going to talk about was that nasty pizza we had. Do you remember?
Vaguely,
It was
vaguely.
before Oogie Boogie Bash, and we were like waiting to go in at 6, and we're like, let's go grab some
Oh,
food. And it was like so greasy and just it
not
was
good.
nasty.
Yikes.
And we're just
Okay,
like,
so avoid the pizza. You heard
yeah.
it here first. Um, and then they have some desserts like creme brulee and cheesecake. And then, of course, all the craft cocktails. They have a pretty good list of mocktails, 4 of them. And then wine and beer. So, yeah, I guess it's one of those things like on paper, it sounds wonderful.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's not that bad. I don't remember any of that other stuff though on the menu.
Yeah,
I thought
and
it
yeah,
was
I
like
guess
very limited. Like they give you
like
like one of
just
those
bar food or
slender
something.
like menus that has like 5 things on it or
Slender
something.
Man. They give you one of those
Slender Man you.
Slender Man use. Yeah, I thought it was bar food totally until I looked this up.
That's so weird.
So maybe you have to go there with the intent to eat, like go there for
Right. Yeah,
dinner. or something.
maybe.
But lounge makes me think not. So, anyways, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is our dilemma. So that is the
That
answer.
big
So
fireplace outside is nice though.
it is. It is very nice.
That is
And then
nice.
you're in the lobby pretty much, and you can go right out into the lobby, see the
Right.
piano. But maybe that's why this guy is saying people are sleeping on it. Nobody goes there because it's confusing. It's like, do you go
Right.
there for a
Like,
break
what are
or
you
for
trying to
food?
be?
Yeah, identity crises.
Hearth, lounge, restaurant. What is it? Like,
Okay, and then the very last topic. This is one of, I think, our favorite, what's the word? Favorite happenings that happens to us as Disney holics a lot, which is
okay.
I had to listen to my coworker tell me very incorrect things about Disneyland.
Wait, is this coworker from another cast member they mean?
No, so this is, oh, sorry, this is not cast
Oh,
member
just
at
like at
all.
some regular job somewhere else.
Yeah, a regular Disney
Yeah.
fan who has to sit and listen to someone give incorrect information
Yeah.
about your favorite theme park in the whole world. And
About
then
the
you don't
one
want to,
thing
you
that
don't
I
want to look like
absolutely
an
am an expert about.
a-hole, right? You don't want to be the
Yeah.
corrector. So you're just stuck. It's a lose-lose. What do you do?
What do I do? I usually just let them run with it. I used to correct them for a while and then I realized I was coming off as a jerk. But I wanted them to know because like I really like Disneyland, so I
Yeah.
want them to know the correct stuff. But then I stopped telling them because it comes off as a know-it-all, which I wasn't trying to do. But then I realized that like, all right, if I just let them think whatever, they're probably never going to realize the difference anyway. And then also, I will correct them on things if it matters to the conversation. So if they start saying like, "I'm going next week," and they open at 5 a.m., I'll be like, "Oh, I thought we should check. I think it's 8 a.m." So I don't want them like being stirred the wrong way. Like
Even the
I'll
way
help
you
them
you correct them, you're not even you're second guessing yourself as you correct them, but you
because
know
I don't
it's
want to be
true.
like,
Yeah.
"No, you're wrong."
And you know it's totally true. You're like, oh, let's just check that just in case. So polite. I love it. One of the popular comments here on Reddit that puts us in these situations is when a coworker says, "Oh my God, I loved the Harry Potter ride at Disney World."
Oh, absolutely. I've
Oh, that's
gotten that a
like
million
double,
times.
triple the sting. Like what?
Yep.
And that one, it's already said and done. You don't have to correct them, but it's really hard not to. And then
Yep.
it's really hard to not sound like a jerk.
Right.
Because they don't really care. They just know that they went to Orlando.
That's what you have to remember. Like if you're having some like functional factorial moment with somebody, then maybe correct them. But otherwise, like they don't care. And just remember that. And it's fine that you do. So in your head, actually, the scene from Mean Girls, if anybody's a Mean Girls fan out there, that scene where she's like dreamy eyed over that boy and he's rambling off a bunch of stuff and she just keeps going wrong, wrong, wrong in her head. Like after everything he's saying, that's wrong. And I'm like, that's how I feel when that happens now. Like in my head, I'm like, nope, nope, but I won't say it out loud.
Right? It's just like smiling or
Yep.
animatronic all of a sudden.
Really? I haven't seen Harry Potter Land at Disneyland yet.
The next most popular one seems to be that the person who's describing the situation was doing exactly what you just said. So, and apparently this happens a lot. So people saying that, oh, I went to a special event when I was a kid and Space Mountain was running backwards. And so the guy's like, okay, so you mean they turned the train around? And the person was like, no, it went backwards through the track. So now they're like doubling the just the audacity of it all. And so he just goes, okay, buddy. And then you just have to walk away because there's no point in fighting.
It's like literally impossible.
Yeah.
There's
And
the
it's
thing
somebody's
called
like
physics.
Mandela childhood memory. You're not gonna
Right.
fight
Yeah.
with it. That's a weird one.
That's hilarious.
I do hear that a lot with with rides in general, even if it's like at Great America or Six Flags. And I know because I am a coaster enthusiast and I play all those crazy games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and the engineering. And I'm like, no, you can't just do that
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
temporarily for like a second.
Not like on a track, like pulley system the entire time.
Like it's just a giant kid like lifts it up and just turns it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so weird. Jack Skellington from the elevator scene.
The one that used to be in the Haunted Mansion, he's still backstage flipping around Space
flipping trains around for Space Mountain. So let's see. A lot of people have, it says, have fake memories of Club 33. They say they've been there, and then when they describe it, it's not Club 33.
Oh, okay.
But they want to sound cool in front of coworkers.
They're trying to brag, but then you're like, do I tell them?
And usually they're not even like Disney people. They're like trying to brag to you because you're a Disney person. And they think you're going to think they're cool because they went to this exclusive thing.
Right.
So weird. People are so weird. But it says a lot of them are, hold on. I had to cough laugh there. It says most people who claim to go to Club 33 are describing their dinner at Blue Bayou.
Oh, shoot. Shoot.
You think they're so
And like
cool,
when we
VIP.
started going to Disneyland, I don't even think you needed reservations. Remember, like in the 90s and the
For the
early
Blue
2000s,
Bayou,
you could
right?
just like walk up and
Go
ask,
up.
and you'd wait for like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, exactly. You just put your name. It's like Red Lobster. It was like normal.
Yeah. Minus the pager.
Oh my gosh. I would definitely call someone out if they tried to impress me with Club 33 and I can tell it was Blue Bayou. I'd be like,
Yeah, because braggers suck. So
Yeah.
you're like, listen, I'm going to tell you you're wrong in front of
Right.
everybody.
So for all of our other Disney holics out there listening, what is your tip for them when you're caught in that situation?
Yeah, I want to know. For me?
Oh yeah, I'm asking you.
I say like, I feel like just let them have it. Right? Again, just like
Sure, yeah.
let them have it because it's like their memory and we all have skewed memories. Like that's normal. And if they don't go all the time like we do, they probably forgot and have things mixed up. Especially if they're going to like numerous theme parks in one trip. It's exhausting and they got it mixed up. And it's okay. Just let them have it. And then also, you don't want to associate someone being a jerk or know-it-all along with Disney because then they'll just be like,
yeah.
oh, there's that Club 33 place. Who cares about that one? Because that girl was so rude about me being wrong about it. You know what I mean? Like they'll associate and they don't want that either. So just let them have it.
Yeah. And that probably gives Disney adults a bad name when we're annoying like that.
Right. Do you remember okay, I'm going to give 2 examples real fast of this happening to me. So one was, I've probably talked about this one on the show before, but there was a guy who said there was an Eddie Murphy animatronic added to the Haunted Mansion. And I was like, you have pinpointed down to literally the thing I know most about in my entire life. Like out of anything, I can tell you that every inch of the Haunted Mansion, you know what I mean? So like, no, there's no Eddie Murphy. And he was like not giving up. And he's like been in design twice in his life or something. He's like,
that is
added,
crazy.
I remember it. In his brain, his memory added that animatronic in, and it was there to him. Like his
Maybe
memory
he was
said
listening
it.
to many of our fake shows where we make up fake news.
According to Mike TV, Danny DeVito and Eddie Murphy,
Eddie
like,
Murphy.
let's sell this house. So,
I wonder, do you think he was thinking of Jack Sparrow and just it completely changed to Eddie Murphy in his head?
I guess in the complete
weird.
different attraction and
Yeah.
everything. I don't like it doesn't even feel the same, so I don't know how you could, but man, and that was like a fight to the death because that was one of the moments where I spoke up because I was like, that's my home. That's my
And you
hood
could, like,
right there, you know?
Google
So like back up.
These days, you could like look it up.
Yeah. So we were like to the death with that one. Like he would not let it go. And he
That's
was getting
weird.
like upset, but not upset at me for being a jerk. He was just kind of like, no, you're not believing me. Like he was like dead set on it. So that was one weird one that I spoke up in whatever. And then this other one I stayed quiet on. And I think you might remember this. We were in Disney World.
Yep,
This is
I know
actually a
exactly.
cast member.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we went to a cast member. I don't remember what we were asking about. But she, for some reason, started offering information. I don't even remember how this conversation happened. But she said, I remember, or I heard or something that they're, what did she say? She said that they're making a Haunted Mansion into a drop ride, like Tower of Terror, right?
Yeah, she was mixing. We knew right away what she was mixing up. She was mixing up Tower of Terror, California Adventure, the transformation to Guardians drop
Oh,
tower,
okay.
and she was saying complete matter of factly as a cast member, like official. She was telling us that Haunted Mansion Disneyland is going to have it's going to be turned into a drop ride.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what the F are you talking about? And I want to say like she was trying to allude to like the elevator part of it or something, and it's just like, what? And I
It's
think
like
we were
two-story
like
drop. Like, oh, that was fun.
we were. I want to say egging her on to let her keep going.
Yeah. Sometimes you and me will like catch a glimpse of our eyeballs and we're like, let's just roll with it.
Yeah, like see how far she takes this rumor. But yeah, she wasn't even like saying it was a rumor. She was like, this is happening.
Yeah, yeah. I don't remember how we got into the conversation either. I just remember it was at Hollywood Studios and we're just like, what is going
Yeah.
on? Oh yeah, it was so
My
funny.
guess is this is a complete guess because you know a lot of times we ask people what their favorite attraction is. It might
Uh-huh.
have like started that way and then ended up like maybe you said yours is Haunted Mansion Disneyland, and then she was like,
Yeah, she goes, how do
"Did
you
you
feel about the
know?"
changes?
Totally. What?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness. Okay, so on this episode, we stopped to recognize and appreciate the many lovely cast members off stage, behind the stage, on stage, everywhere you could think of that make the magic happen. We got to hear a
Yes.
little bit about their point of views on Reddit, and then, of course, we ended with some fun Disneyholic style topics.
I love it so much. Thank you all for listening, and we hope you enjoyed episode 199 of the Disney Holic Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disneyholics.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, send us a DM on Instagram and or contact us at thedisneyholics.com.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.